Lucas had always been drawn to the sea. As a child, he would spend hours on the rocky shores of his coastal town, staring out at the endless expanse of water. The locals often warned him about the dangers of the ocean, telling tales of those who had disappeared into the waves, never to return. But Lucas never listened. To him, the sea was a friend, a constant companion in his otherwise lonely life. One stormy evening, after a particularly difficult day, Lucas decided to take a walk along the cliffs. The sky was a deep, bruised purple, and the wind howled like a living thing. The waves crashed against the rocks far below, sending plumes of icy spray into the air. Despite the weather, Lucas felt a strange sense of calm as he watched the ocean churn. As he walked, something in the water caught his eye. At first, he thought it was just debris tossed up by the storm, but as he squinted against the wind, he saw that it was a figure, a person, struggling in the waves. Without thinking, Lucas ran down the narrow, slippery path that led to the shore, his heart pounding. When he reached the water's edge, he could see the figure more clearly. It was a woman, her pale face just visible above the waves, her eyes wide with terror. She was too far out for him to reach, but he could hear her faint cries for help over the roar of the storm. Lucas didn't hesitate. He plunged into the freezing water, his limbs instantly numbed by the cold. The waves battered him, pulling him under, but he fought against them, desperate to reach the drowning woman. As he got closer, her face came into focus, her skin was deathly white, her lips blue. But it was her eyes that struck him the most. They were glassy and empty, as if she had already succumbed to the sea. Lucas pushed forward, his muscles burning with effort. He reached out for her, his fingers just grazing her icy skin. But as he did, the woman's expression changed. Her lips twisted into a cruel smile, and her eyes locked onto his with a gaze that was far from human. Before he could react, she grabbed his arm with a strength that defied her fragile appearance. Lucas tried to pull away, but her grip was like iron. She began to pull him under, dragging him deeper into the dark, frigid water. He fought, kicking and thrashing, but it was no use. The water closed over his head, and the world went silent. He looked into the woman's eyes one last time and saw the truth. They were the eyes of the drowned, those who had been claimed by the sea, and she was not going to let him go. As his lungs burned and his vision faded, Lucas felt a terrible cold seep into his bones. The last thing he saw was the woman's smile, wide and terrible, as the darkness took him. The next morning, the storm had passed, and the sea was calm once more. The townspeople found Lucas's body washed up on the shore, his eyes wide open in horror, his face twisted in a final scream. They buried him near the cliffs, adding another name to the long list of those lost to the sea. But some say that on stormy nights, if you stand by the shore and listen closely, you can hear the sound of waves crashing and a voice, faint and desperate, calling out for help. And if you're not careful, the drowned might just come for you too.